Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a video here and to kind of explain um, a little bit of why I am wanting to be making these videos, I guess. I guess I'm wanting to spread awareness between the link of a spinal fluid leak and POTS. I've had POTS my whole life. I've identified with it my whole life, and now getting a recent diagnosis that I also have a spinal fluid leak, and that's possibly been we don't know, but I could have been having a leak since I was in middle school, since I was in high school, and these symptoms were happening. I really don't know, but there's definitely a link between POTS, Ehlers-Danlos, and a spinal fluid leak. And there's not that much known about any of these conditions individually, let alone that they're linked. And for me, they definitely are. And I know I've connected with a few other people on, our support groups on Facebook and Instagram. There's a huge link between POTS and Ehlers-Danlos. And now with people who have spinal fluid leaks are having dysautonomia symptoms, are having, the exact same thing, and they're ruling out POTS because they don't have meet the tilt table standards of having POTS. There's definitely something going on here. I'm living proof that, I've identified with POTS since I was 17 years old when I got my diagnosis. And that is another thing I could talk for hours on how it feels when you finally get a diagnosis, because most of us go years before we are told what's going on with our bodies. And when you finally get that feeling, the doctor says, this is what you have. You do identify with that, and it's just so crazy how having a name to your condition can change the way you view it. It's no longer so much of a burden as in oh, I know what this is, I can handle it, I can control it, kind of a thing. So I've kind of had that happen a second time in my life. I've identified with POTS all along, and now I have a spinal fluid leak, and now I'm learning how to identify with that as well. But there's definitely a link between these two, and it's if anybody else out there is, identifying with POTS and you think that's everything that's going on with you, and you're like me, you're going to the ER, you're going to see specialists, you're seeing cardiologists, you're seeing neurologists, you're seeing POTS specialists, you're seeing all these people, and nobody can help you. Well, I went and saw a pain specialist, and my doctor has figured out that maybe people with POTS don't really have POTS, or it's not only POTS. And for me, it definitely wasn't. I've had a spinal fluid leak, and I've gotten 2 blood patches, and my symptoms have gotten better both times. I'm getting a 3rd blood patch this afternoon, and I'm confident that it's going to get rid of the rest of these symptoms that I have. So, yeah, I guess I'm wanting to blog about this, share my story, and I'm going to take you guys through kind of a little bit of what this process has been like, and hopefully, somebody else can get patched and get diagnosed, and you can get your life back too, because it has totally changed my life, and it's amazing. Alright, so I am going to, I think, end this video, and I'll maybe make another one here in a little more detail of my specific story for those of you who are interested in what's going on with my case. But everybody's case is different, whether POTS or EDS or spinal fluid leak. Everyone has their own little story of how it started, what happened, And that's what's crazy. It's like all of our, like we have the same condition, but it's all a little bit different. That's what makes it so hard for, I think, for doctors to give us a diagnosis, because it's such a complicated thing. Like dysautonomia in itself, like there's so many symptoms. It's a little crazy. So anyway, that's it for now. Everybody stay strong.